Hi, I'm Silva.
And I'm Angela Rogers, and welcome to Harder Than We Thought.
We're two best friends that banter like sisters. We share our unique perspectives on life, careers, and everything in between.
This podcast is informative, entertaining, and downright hilarious.
We're the best friend duo you never knew you needed.
So we are back with another episode of Harder Than We Thought, and I'm really, really, really excited because we have a guest today. Sai's very excited about this too.
You better be. Contrary to what people might think, I am very excited about this.
Today, joining us, we have Jessel Taank. Jessel, in case you guys don't know, of course, she is on The Real Housewives of New York with Sai, and she is the first Indian housewife that's ever been in any of the franchises, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, we're super excited to have her on our show today because in case you guys didn't know a little bit, I'll give you a little background about her because, of course, you know she is married. She's on The Real Housewives, but a little bit of background on her. She is from London, right?
That's right.
From London. She's a fashion publicist. She graduated from King's College with a degree in journalism and English. So a very smart lady.
Very smart lady.
Very smart lady.
Very smart.
You know, we have smart people on here. But she has her own PR firm and brand consulting agency.
Yeah.
So she's been behind the scenes for all of your career for the last
career.
20 years,
Yeah.
right? And now you're in a completely different space because now you're in front of the camera. So a lot of what we wanted, why we thought you would be a perfect guest to have, because we really wanted to talk about your background and your career and everything that you're doing, because it seems like you're doing so much right now, right? Like you've had this long career being an entrepreneur, starting your own business, and now your career's kind of taking a different turn, right?
Most
Since the
definitely. Unexpected turn.
No, I mean, even for me, I know that we're on the same show together, but like, how did this come about?
The show.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre how it all. Well, so Savannah, who's actually a good friend of Sai and I, we were in St. Bart's May of 22. We were on a trip celebrating a girlfriend's birthday. And Sav was talking to producers to be on the show.
I remember when she was talking to them.
Who is Savannah?
Savannah Engel. Everyone knows
She
Savannah.
is also a publicist in the
Okay.
city. She knows freaking everyone. She's so funny, very personable. But yes,
She's from the Mississippi Delta. Like, she's got this like larger than life personality, and Sav, she really does know everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
she's just kind of one of those people that even if you don't know her personally, you've definitely heard of her. And she's talking about the show, and she was like, "Jessel, you got to do it." And I was like, "LOL, hell no! You know, there's no way in hell I could see myself on TV." And then she, I guess, had given a bunch of names to producers, and lo and behold, like 2 weeks later, I get a DM from a producer or like the casting, whatever. And they were like, "Would you be interested in talking to us?" And it was such a, I think it was like a joke to me. Like I was like, "Oh, let me entertain
like,
them."
yeah,
not real.
Yeah, it wasn't real. I was talking to them, like, in every stage or every step that I would progress, I would be like, "Oh my God, this is actually getting a little bit closer to potentially being on the show." And then, you know, lo and behold, that was it. Like, they called me when I was on vacation, and they were like, "We would love to offer you the position." I don't even know what it is.
Like, we like to offer you the position.
position of
what,
a real housewife.
what a very competitive package.
Yeah, insurance, the whole 9 yards. Like, it was so surreal, you know, because it certainly wasn't something that
You ever
I
thought
had
you would
like
do?
ever thought I would do.
How do you think that your life has changed now that the show has aired?
I mean, it's gone a complete like opposite direction, because I think that, you know, being a publicist was always kind of what I love to do and what I'm so good at doing. Sai's opening line in RHONY was, "Jessel's a publicist and she'll make sure everyone knows she is too."
It's
true.
It's true. She'd be like, "I'm a publicist."
I'm a publicist. I know it because but it was just like it, you know, being behind the scenes. I was always the person like making things happen, you know, almost like coaching designers and brands and sort of like figuring out what to do and how they should like present themselves to the industry, to the world. And now I'm sort of doing that for myself. So I am very comfortable, obviously, being in front of the camera, but it's very hard putting yourself out there. I mean, I think what we do has been one of the most challenging things that I've ever been faced with.
What do you think is the main thing for you that has been super challenging?
Not controlling I think, how you're perceived in the media. So obviously, being a publicist, you have control of everything. You control the story, the narrative. Like, you can edit things out. You live a very curated, I think, you have a very curated way of dealing with things. And I think kind of giving those reins to a whole slew of people that you don't know and have literally, you're just a puppet on a string, essentially.
100%. That's exactly how I feel.
And you just you don't know. Like, I had no idea that 360 like thing of what this show was, in a way.
Now that show's over, are you your own publicist? Like, how do you feel?
Do you have a publicist?
Yeah. Are you hiring a publicist, or are you your own publicist?
I've done my own stuff. Like,
is that odd though? Like, you feel like you have to, like, if you're pitching yourself to something, you're like, because you're doing it yourself, You're pitch and you're the talent.
And I'm the talent. But the thing is like, everything I've gotten so far, I guess, like, they're my friends, right? So like, every article, every feature, it's been, hey, I want to kind of do something. I have an interesting story. I think that you would work for your magazine. And my editor friends would be like, okay, cool. Yeah, let me talk to the larger team. And then that's how, like, things happen. So it doesn't feel awkward.
You've done tons, like a shit ton of press, which is very impressive.
You were on the cover of Rolling Stone.
You were on Rolling Stones, but you're on so many.
Still is like, it's still
but it's a digital world. It's not a print world.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we are living in a digital world. So it's still like, you should be patting yourself on the back. Like, it's still a really big deal.
Well, Rolling Stones was interesting. So Rolling Stones came off the bat of something that you said, Sai, on the show. So I think we're filming the event in my house.
Okay.
And Sai said, you seem like you come from money, or something. It was a statement that was for me, it wasn't accurate, because I didn't come from, like, wealth necessarily.
Was it the part where someone else said you seem like you came from money, and I was like, what's the big deal? I wish somebody said that I come from money.
Exactly. It was that statement. But so the next day, and I don't know if something weird happens in this world of reality. So that aired, right? And the next day, there was this mysterious website that popped up out of nowhere. And it said Jessel Taank went to one of the most elite schools in England, right? Like, it's this private girls' school that is like £60,000 a year. And this writer on Twitter said she is a liar. She says she doesn't come from wealth, but she did go to one of which is completely fabricated.
That was the writer of Rolling Stones,
correct.
Right? Okay, I read that.
I found this guy.
What?
I found this guy. I DM'd him, and I was like, listen, boo, whatever you're putting out there in the Twitter world is completely false.
Yeah.
I sent him all my school pictures.
Wait, not to cut you off. The person who said that is the writer from Rolling Stone?
Who said it, not the guy who started the website, though.
Not the guy who started the website.
The website had this information, and then the writer from Rolling Stones was like, yeah, she's comes from all this money.
She comes from all this money. Yeah. She's, like, lying about her background. And I found him on Instagram, and I DM'd him, and I was like, dude, like, everything you're saying or putting out there is wrong. Like, fact check your stuff. Yeah. And then I saw on his profile, writer for New York Magazine, Rolling Stone, and he was very apologetic. Like, he was like, I'm so sorry.
You can't do that.
Yeah, this is the thing about the internet.
Yeah.
Whatever you put out there, it suddenly becomes a fact, and it's just not true.
It's not true. But okay, so go ahead. I love this story.
So anyway, he was like, I'm so sorry. I'll put an apology out on Twitter. Is there anything else I can do for you? And I was like, yeah, get me a Rolling Stone feature.
I love it.
And lo and
behold, a publicist. It's like innate in her. It's just like, she's not even trying. She's just like, yeah, give me it.
I was like, you know how to bargain. What you could do for me. I'm telling you what I want. And then lo and behold, three months later, he was like, hey, that thing you asked for, I think I can do it.
That's amazing. You see this? Like, to all of our listeners, if you see a door open, like, walk through
Take it.
Yeah. That's a really great story.
But see, even telling that story, when we're saying, like, do you pitch yourself, or do you have to, like, control all your PR, all of that, because you're a publicist, I feel like you have to have a lot of anxiety 24/7, because it's like constantly, like, like, if it were me, I'm like, I'll let my manager handle it. I'll let my publicist handle it. Like, you can just kind of just turn it off for a second.
Yeah.
But with you are handling it. And even if you try not to, it's like you're going to have to keep thinking about it. I feel like that's constant. Like, you're constantly going to have to be, like, bombarded with all this information.
Are you bombarded, or does this drive you?
I think it's a bit of both. Like, I love it. I love the chase. I love, like, I don't think anyone knows you better than yourself, right? So then you don't have to worry about like someone speaking up for you. Just do it yourself. And I think that to me was so empowering, right?
I think it's a very interesting thing, right? Because I feel like what you do for a living is what you love. Like you love being a publicist.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're out here and you're pitching and you're doing all these things, I would just assume automatically like this is thrilling for you, especially when you book something, when the job goes through.
Yeah.
So that must be something that is, I think, just you would be driven to do this just for those results at the end of the day.
And it's funny because when I was working at Michael Kors, he always used to say like these writers, they don't know what to write about. So you constantly have to tell them, feed them stories, feed them narratives, feed them like, give them a snippet here and there, but like give them the content and then let them do their job. And so I've always kept that in the back of my head. So every single story I've been like, hey, why don't we do this? Or, Indian girl talking about reproductive issues on the show. Like, why don't we talk about that? So it's kind of always giving them the content, almost as like, as an influencer would. Like you have the idea, you execute it, and then it's like comes to life. You sort of have to do that with.
Yeah, you're pitching the idea.
Yeah.
It's the same thing what my publicist does. It's kind of like, for example, if it's something around the holidays and it's like, I'm Puerto Rican. What are your traditions around the holidays? Like, what do you cook? What do you make to drink? And then they pitch those stories.
Yeah.
So I feel like people who don't know the publicist world, when you look into it, it's like what goes into it. It looks extremely difficult, and it is because you got to keep up with all of these people. Everyone's switching their jobs, etc. But some of the things are you do pitch these stories.
Yeah.
Writers need stories. And also nowadays, especially with digital, how are the images done for you? Because for me, I know I sometimes will shoot my own images and then send it over for digital.
Yeah.
How are your images being done?
So this is the other thing I control. I control my photographer. I control my photography, the fashion, all of it. I just do it myself. Because the thing is, there's a lot of editorial, a lot of magazines don't have the budget to do a photo shoot.
And you can just keep supplying them with like the different outlets too,
I'm
so
like,
you don't
it's
have
cool,
to
I
keep.
got you. I'll supply you with the images for Rolling Stone. I did the entire shoot myself, like from concept to like everything.
Yeah.
Hand over the images, and then they have fresh content. And you just have to control and like manage the entire process, soup to nuts.
Do you have someone from the magazine sit in on your shoots?
No.
Or you just kind of do everything yourself?
Yeah. And if it doesn't work out for them, fair enough. But at least you tried.
Right. Do you find now being front of the camera and being that talent difficult?
Being in front of the camera and being that talent? No, I mean,
especially when you're shooting.
Yeah, it's a little bit like it is definitely challenging. You sort of want to like I'll go behind the scenes and I'll check the images and she'll be like, no, I need you like sit there, like don't fucking move,
Yeah.
But it's I think I have to also learn to let go because that is part of the process of like going into this new era of whatever the hell we're doing.
I mean, I think it's difficult because you're also the creative director in those instances, right? So you do want to know what are you looking like how's your outfit? It's very hard to direct and be the talent, be the creative director and do wear all of these many hats at the same time.
And I give retouching notes too. I'm like, make me look thin, give me more hair. Like
you have to.
You have to.
It's really trying to control the process through like every single step of the way it honestly is empowering because no one can understand your vision more than you do.
Now with this new internet stardom, even obviously people recognize you in the street and everything now are you getting influencer work?
Yes. And by the way, I think I've said to you, Sai, like 1,000, I have the utmost respect for what you do.
Thank you.
Because I think a lot of people don't. They see beautiful pictures. They don't understand the amount of work and like thought and like actual like it's freaking hard. And it's a daily job and you are keeping up that content constantly. So yes, I am. See, but the thing is I don't know how to be an influencer. I'm so awkward. I did my first brand deal the other day.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's
cool.
with Nutrafol, shiny hair. But I was like so awkward and stiff and I don't know what to do with it. You have to really it has to be authentic and compelling the way that you talk about brands,
I think also you have to remember people don't realize that being an influencer, a content creator is a very introverted job.
Yeah.
You are at home by yourself or even your team, they know you and you're constantly talking to yourself, basically. So the minute that you go outside, I know a lot of creators who really have social anxiety, especially after COVID, because they're so used to being alone and so used to creating this content for millions of people to watch. But the minute they're around other people, they freeze up and they can't do public speaking. They cannot engage with other people. So I always say, taking that back, like, you're just talking to yourself.
Right. Isn't that ironic though?
Yeah.
You have the control to edit and do whatever you want. Like if you're picking your nose in the middle of you saying something, you're like,
Sexy.
let me cut that out real quick, you
Yeah.
know?
Accidental fart. But yeah, it's very ironic, and the optics of it, right?
Right.
Like I think the optics of Instagram and social, like there is this perception that you're putting out there, but the reality is so different
So
sometimes.
different, yeah.
Stark. And it's kind of a scary
Oh
thing
yeah,
to think about.
100%.
Did you think when you were doing the show that you were going to be doing so much of, like, did you think that being a brand came with so much? Like, were you like, I'm going to be on the Real Housewives, but I am a fashion publicist and a brand consultant, so it's going to showcase me, my family, and my work, and that's kind of it. Of course, you knew you were going to go on like the Clubhouse or do a BravoCon thing, but did you think it would involve so much of you being in front of the camera?
No, I underestimated this whole thing. Truly. And first of all, the footprint of the show has like, it's multiplied, I would say 10x, because
Yeah.
the amount of people that watch the show,
Mhm.
even like internationally, it's so crazy.
Do you have like family in? 'Cause that's the thing too, because you are the first Indian housewife on, the franchise. How do you feel like with just like not just with representation, but how do you feel like you are perceived with your family and like your community? Do you feel like they're accepting of it, or
especially
they're a little
after the way
embarrassed, or
Yeah.
you've opened up on national
Yeah.
television about very taboo topics in your culture, right?
Super. I think it's twofold. I think my immediate family have obviously been very supportive.
Mhm.
You met my mom. Like she's, I think my
So
mom and my
chic. I
dad, they're super supportive, and they're very modern in regards to like Indian culture. But there is a larger community that, my mom, when the show was airing, would get like barrage of messages from like aunts and like
Mhm.
saying, "Oh my God, she's talking about sex." Like what?
I was gonna say things like that. I would think would
Sorry.
be very.
Your beer can.
I'm sorry about that. It's not a beer. It's just water.
Just popping bottles over
sorry.
here.
It
Yeah,
sounds
it
like
was.
beer.
It was very. It was kind of shocking, I think, for a lot of people.
Mhm.
I can see
Um,
that. Especially when you come from a culture that's kind of like, this is a very private.
Reserved.
But here's
Mhm.
why I did it. And I made a conscious effort to talk about it because I think we have to start shifting the atmosphere on some of those conversations,
Mhm.
right? So, like, why should we as Indian women or as women of color, like, I think it's very typical to kind of keep those things, inside. And no one
Mhm.
really does want to talk about it openly. And so I thought, oh, if I actually do this and start like making a move towards being a little bit more open and honest about things like that,
Yeah.
it could shift like how people think and the way that they're like guarding that type of
At least the
conversation.
the younger generation. I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes with like certain communities, they're just the older people just feel the way they do, and they're like not gonna change. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
Because that's the way they grew up,
yeah,
That's the
though.
way they
it's
grew
so
up.
hard. For
I think
them
that's
to,
a very hard thing to go through. Like there's certain
Yeah.
things that you need to be very reserved about. Like
Yeah.
those are things that you just should never very
share. Mhm.
conservative, and you shouldn't share those types of things. I think now it's starting to become very okay with sharing. And even when I share content sometimes on social and I talk about things that are relatable,
Mhm.
they do the best. And there's so many people that are like, "Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I
I
thought
know
it
you
was
probably got
just
a lot
me."
of that, right?
Yeah, I look at being Latina, being like Asian, Black Asian. Like I think that there is we owe it to those people to kind of like represent a certain thing, and
Right.
and it was very much like close friends of mine who I've known for years were like, dude, I did IVF too. I didn't tell anyone, and I was like,
Mm.
what? Like, how
And
the
you had
hell?
no idea.
No idea.
So it's nice to have someone
Yeah.
who opens up that conversation, so the conversation continue to flow.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a really I'm really happy with the fact that we did that. And
Yeah, it's an important topic. I think that so many women are speaking about now. So that's good that you shared that.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to jump into, because now you have this new business venture called Ushk
Oosh.
that I am so excited for you. I want to know all about it, how it came about, like what made you decide to open up your own business? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, like what, and the whole thinking behind this
The concept
platform and
about
what
it,
you
yeah.
wanted.
First of all, I need you guys in Indian clothes. Like, I think so. Like, I'm dying for if we do end up filming a next season. Like, you need to be in Indian. You'll do so well.
You
look
should
so
do
gorgeous.
a pre-Diwali party.
I know.
Like
we need to. We need to. But this this idea. So like, look, I think growing up Indian in England was tough, right? So like, you're not necessarily the same as everyone else.
Mhm.
And I think I had two identities. I was Jessel Taank, the little brown Indian girl, and then you're Jessel Taank, like the girl that like tries to fit in to this like larger like world, right?
Mhm.
But I always loved being Jessel Taank, the little Indian girl. Like, I love my culture. I think everything about it I'm so proud of, and especially the fashion. So like, one of my first memories is like sitting on my mom's bed and watching her dress up in Indian clothes. And it was so like, it was almost transformative. Like,
Mhm.
she just became this other sort of identity, this other woman. And I just always go back to that. And, you know, when I think about who I am, I always think of that image of my mom in Indian clothes, because that's who I really, truly like resonate with, right? So anyway, long story short, Oosh really came about because Indian fashion is impossible. Like, if you want to buy something that's from an Indian designer, you have to go to India, or you go through these websites that are Indian based, but it takes like months to get.
So is it, because I didn't know if it was, is it Indian to buy Indian clothes or just Indian designers who are making any type of clothes?
So Indian designers are now like, so true couture really does stem very much from India, like the hand beaded embroidery. It's like very like Dior does a lot of
Yeah,
like
they
their
do.
stuff there.
Mhm.
I mean, Louis Vuitton, like there's so many like brands that actually manufacture in India. These designers are making things that will like blow your mind, but no one has access to that.
Yeah.
So I'm creating a platform, a marketplace for them to showcase their work, for me to introduce and put my PR hat on and really market them and PR them, and just kind of introduce this whole library of designers to the world. And you may not know, like, it's just like like almost like a gateway of discovery in a way.
That's great.
Yeah.
So will this be a drop shipping concept?
For now.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
would it all be coming from India, or are you using designers that are based out of the States?
Mainly from India
Okay.
to begin
Wow.
with. And then let's see where it goes. You know, I think that there's like I'm like Middle Eastern, Lebanese. There's just so much talent out there that people don't know about. So I'm really excited. And I think European designers and British and US, that's like one thing, but this is like opening a whole other like gateway.
Because I haven't seen or heard anything about anyone doing that. So
It's
that's
never
Yeah,
been
this
done
is a
before.
very, very great concept.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not saturated.
when
Not
are you
at all.
launching?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
So this is
really?
timely, you guys.
Congratulations.
It's-
Well, when we release this, it would have already
This,
come up.
yeah,
So,
so she's
Oh.
launched her. Well, technically, this
It
will
would've
probably
launched,
come
yeah.
out on next Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
awesome.
fantastic.
congratulations. Okay.
Still very much a small, you know, we're taking it was like digestible. I'm like really right at the very beginning stages of all of this. But I'm just really excited. I'm going to India in April
Oh,
to
so
like go
fun.
source things, and
So it's launching tomorrow. There are some designers that it'll already be available.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Will
It's
you
OUSHQ.
And
Would you ever do? Right now, it's just clothing. Would you ever do home furnishings? Because I feel like India has some amazing.
That is a good
Amazing.
thing that you definitely should incorporate on there.
Yeah.
So, like, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, Indian beauty is coming up. Accessories, jewelry. You know, I love my
Mhm.
stacks. Like, there is culture, travel, food, home, decor. There's just like, I guess my long-term vision is to really become the Indian Gwyneth Paltrow, like the Goop.
Like Goop.
Like, but really like incorporate everything from my culture and just like have it on one.
and make it
like,
affordable.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
But so earlier we asked, right when we first sat down, about your launch date, and you brought up your astrologer. And
Yes.
so basically, she was going to launch on a different date, but you have to launch. What is tomorrow? The 17th? 18th?
Tomorrow's the 19th.
The 19th. I don't even know what day
I
it
was
is.
supposed to launch on the 17th.
Okay.
And I run everything by my
Like
astrologer.
all major moves are
it's
filtered
like
through her.
I cannot make a move without telling. Like a big move,
feel
I
like
cannot make it without asking.
It makes me
him.
think like, should I have done this with a lot of things over the last?
No, but
couple of
why?
years?
I want to
Like,
know why.
No,
So-
it's. I mean, I don't. Yeah, tell me why, because I want to know if I need to start seeing an
It's
astrologer.
kind of so in our culture, astrology is a big thing. So get this.
Astrology numbers or astrology signs?
It's like the
Oh.
moon and the stars and like
Sun,
the,
rising,
it's
moon,
all of it.
that.
Like
Oh,
so,
wow, okay.
Your star sign. People might ask you like, "What's your rising moon? What's your this,
Right.
that, and the other?" I actually know nothing about it.
Really?
I
don't
mean, I'm
either,
not
yeah.
well.
I just know my
versed.
sign.
Yeah, I know
You
my
know your
sign.
rising moon?
No.
What are you?
Sag.
Okay, good.
We're both Sagittarius.
Sag.
Oh, well, that's why. Yeah, I'm a Taurus, so we're both. Well, we're ground.
Oh, you
we're
are?
Earth.
Our other best friend's a Taurus,
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
Kia's
Oh,
a Taurus.
Kia. She would have loved that.
Yeah.
So you
Oh.
guys don't know your rising
I
moon?
don't know. No.
I
But
think
you have to
it's
know what time
Aquarius.
you're born, right?
The time that you're
My mom, she
born.
was telling me the wrong
My rising moon's a
time. I don't
Gemini,
think
which
I
means I'm
know.
just like psychotic.
That's
So,
just
okay,
that
so
works.
Your astrologer told, like, she knows, you may not know, but she knows, like, all of that.
Knows,
Oh, he knows all that.
all the stuff. Like,
Okay.
so he'll, I'll run everything by him. But like when I was 12, my parents were really worried about me because I was a bit of a lunatic, right? So they made me see an astrologer and he predicted RHONY. Like he did say, not RHONY necessarily, but he predicted that I would be well known to some degree.
Oh.
So it was like something like, I was like, whatever.
This is the same astrologer?
No, it's a different
Oh,
guy.
okay. I was like,
But it's the same shit. Like,
you know what's so crazy? Did I tell you that story?
yes, you did.
Someone predicted RHONY for me too,
yeah,
but Bryn told me that someone predicted RHONY for her too.
right.
Isn't that so strange?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's the stars.
Yeah.
Like the shit don't lie.
But is it an astrologer or is it a psychic? Like what?
I think they're very intuitive. So I think
Like
it like
Reiki.
works hand in hand. Yeah, they're just
So
like,
wait, tell me about this astrologer and what they said.
Yeah.
Because I need to know if I should call him.
you should absolutely
Okay.
call him.
'Cause
He's in
it's-
India.
oh,
You
he
say
is?
that- The way she say like call you remind me like remember Miss Cleo?
Yeah. I worked
Were
for Miss
you-
Cleo.
Did
the
you know
tele-
Miss Cleo?
I
This
worked
is
for
so
her.
old. She had these like weird infomercials. It was like
she was so popular.
She had
in
a
like
terrible fake
2000.
accent, and she'd be like, "Call me now."
With a glass
She was
bowl
like
in front of
Jamaican.
her.
It was
Yeah,
like, it's so
and she'd be like,
Jamaican
"Call
accent.
me now." No, okay, but no. So, what did your astrologer say about not going live on the 17th?
I called him on Tuesday and I said, I'm about to go live on tomorrow. And I just want to make sure that that's okay with you. Like crazy.
Yeah.
And he was like, no. He's like, don't do it on the 17th. He was like, you have to do it on the 19th. The 19th is a good day. He was like, the 19th is when something about Venus, moon, and you will, if you launch it on the 19th or the 21st, it will be a success.
So this is not really specific towards your sign, but this is just like something, the Venus in general, like people shouldn't do launches on that day.
I guess.
Right?
I mean, it was a
Because I mean,
specific
you know, it's always
number.
retrograde. Like for some reason, and like
My
Mercury
God, every
is always
other
in
day it's
retrograde.
retrograde.
Mercury's in retrograde.
So I'm like, I guess we can only do things when it's not, but it seems like Mercury's always in retrograde. So that's the only thing I really know about astrology,
Wish it
other
goes
than
south.
like my
You're like,
sign.
fucking Mercury's in
But I do
retrograde.
feel like, yeah, they always say like you have to, like there's certain decisions that you should not make or don't sign a contract during this day.
Right.
Like, do I need to start doing things like that?
I think
I feel like I should.
I've only got that one. I haven't gotten a reading.
one
We call it
tidbit.
a reading. Like I haven't gotten a reading since that
It
one
just-
woman who told me about RHONY, and I was like, huh?
It just depends how serious you are about this stuff.
I
Like,
do
me,
follow
grew
a
up-
couple of people on Instagram,
Yeah.
like
You
I
don't
think
like
the
readings,
Source
though.
Junkie. No, it's not a reading. She just does stuff like Venus is in da da da.
Yeah.
So today, make sure you let everything go and do a lot of releasing this week. Like things that
But that's
you're
hocus
telling
pocus.
everyone. Like, but no, she's not telling me. I'm saying I just follow
putting
a
it out
couple
there.
of
She's
people,
just reading,
and
it.
they're just giving like they're astrology people, but they're just giving general like. There's going to be a lot of releasing going
Yeah.
on this
no,
week.
Angela doesn't like a reading about her.
I don't like
personal
readings
life.
about me because
You don't
She
like-
doesn't want to hear like.
I don't want you to tell me something's going to happen. Like
Well, you can also like ask some questions specific to what you want to know.
they do say that I just don't want to know a lot. I just rather like
She's
it's like
not
I want to
into
know,
it.
but I don't.
You're like
Because if
scared
I
to
know, yeah, because if
Yeah.
I know, I'll drive myself
I hear
crazy.
you.
If someone tells me like this is gonna happen to you, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
fine, I'll still be like, oh my, I can't believe that's gonna happen.
The amount
So I
of
don't need to
detail
know
though. So
that.
he also he said, I'm going to get a stomach bug. He literally said, you're going to get a stomach bug and you'll lose a lot of weight. You'll be happy about that, but just watch what you eat. And I was like, wait, this is so crazy.
See, something loose like that would not bother me.
Jessel
Right.
had a stomach bug at the RHONY premiere,
You
and
a-hole.
she threw
Oh.
up everywhere.
It was
And
bad.
everyone thought she was drunk. Like the press picked up the story. Didn't
Really?
you run out with a garbage bag?
Oh, no, someone was chasing me with the security was chasing me down with a garbage bag.
Because you were throwing up everywhere?
And
Yes.
she looked pale as a ghost.
Yes.
And I don't know how she was even making it down that carpet. There was at least 100 press outlets to talk to.
It was disgusting.
She made it down the carpet, but didn't you? I think there was one story that you threw up on the carpet.
That did not happen.
Yeah, it was like one story was like, oh, Jessel threw up on
That was
the
like
carpet.
The sun.
But she was, and then I remember because everyone was like, oh my God, the new RHONY started out with a bang. Housewife
I didn't hear
behavior.
about that.
So the next day, I texted the group. We have our group chat, right? And I was like, guys, that was a mess. Like I was just a freaking horrendous mess. And then Sai sends me a screenshot. She's like, people are liking this. I was like,
People love
what?
it.
She
They
was like,
love it.
they're calling you Messy Jessie. And literally,
Messy Jessie? Oh
people
my
were
gosh, I
like,
never heard
this
of
is
that.
iconic. RHONY starts off with a bang. I was like, what is this? Like,
Such
new
housewife
But they
behavior.
were thinking you
iconic
were
behavior.
just drunk.
They thought she was
I
hammered,
was
but she was
hammered.
just
I had
sick.
ginger ale the whole day. Like, it was not. That was so crazy.
That was
though.
actually
Oh,
really
God.
funny.
Well, in
It was
hindsight.
really funny.
In hindsight.
Okay. Did you have another question for her?
No, I was just talking about this astrologer.
Oh,
I really
yeah.
do think I want to
Yeah.
get some general stuff
Yeah.
going on. Like if I'm about to make a big decision.
Are you married?
No.
Okay, well, he can help with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'll tell
See, I don't
you.
want him to tell me something
See,
like
like
that.
this is how she
That's what I'm
starts getting
saying.
freaked
See,
out.
I'm like, I want to do it, and
Yeah.
then like you told me that, and I'm like, never
No,
mind.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't want him to know like you're not gonna ever get married or you are gonna get married. I don't know if I
Never
want
say
to
that.
know that.
Well,
But why would he never say that? Because he was going to hurt my feelings, or
well,
if is that in the stars?
I think that what they also do is like empower you to make informed decisions and moves, right? So like,
So he wouldn't say you're never gonna get married,
think
which
he
is
would.
fine with me.
yeah,
But right,
I'm kind of
That's fine
jealous.
with me.
You're living that single life, like jet
I'm
setting.
like,
The single life
Staying
is
out
like
in New York, you know,
Yeah.
no big deal.
I said
Yeah.
that. I was just talking about that with Jeff Lewis. It was like talking
What?
about the single life. Like, do you think, I had this conversation earlier, do you think monogamy, crickets, do you think monogamy is a lifelong thing? Like, do you think like this is it supposed to be
I
one
heard-
person for the rest of your life?
I
Are
heard-
you supposed to be with one person for the rest of your life?
I've heard it's not. Like, I think typically,
they say it's
they
not.
say it's not. It's not human nature to be with one person.
Like, you're supposed to have chapters in life, right?
Exactly. Or like a side piece here, a side piece here. A side
I feel like now because I'm 43, I can totally get married now though, because I'm like I could be with someone else for the rest of my life. I'm
Yeah.
like halfway. You know what I mean? Like
and you're accomplished.
what's another
you have
20,
your-
30 years?
You're halfway there.
Because that's why I
Yeah.
think people start getting annoyed with their partners or just like I'm over this
Yeah.
person. Like now I'm like
It's a midlife crisis.
Because you
I'm
grow
getting if I
apart,
get
too.
married now, I'm
Sure.
doing forever. It's so late. Like okay, I think I can do it.
Would you want to have kids?
Yes, I do want to have kids. That's the only thing. Marriage, I don't have to be married,
Yeah.
but having children,
I had 2 kids out of wedlock.
it's
all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
I had
I
both
mean-
my kids before I got married.
right.
I want to
Listen,
have a kid.
It's just
Kids
this.
are just
It's
yeah.
just this, right?
Yeah, I
And
don't
it's
need to be
this.
married. I would like to have a kid though.
Yeah.
I do want to know what's going on with your eggs on ice.
Oh my god.
What's going on with your babies on ice?
Do you have embryos on ice or
do.
eggs?
I have
Embryos.
embryos, you guys.
Oh, that's a whole nother. That's a
I
whole
have-
nother
How many
thing.
embryos do you
So
have?
I have 7. No, sorry,
Embryos.
I had 7. I used 2. Kai and Leo with those 2. I have 5. I have 3 girls and 2 boys left.
Are you planning on using them?
I really want a girl, especially after seeing London and everything cute you do with her. Like it's just all my girlfriends that have girls. It just makes me want a girl so bad.
And you're 39.
I'm 40.
Oh, you're
just turned-
40. You
she
just
just
turned
turned
40.
40.
Okay.
Just turned 40.
Everyone, the internet is a lie. She's not 44.
Because I was
She is
gonna ask you,
40.
Google help
Yes.
me. I don't know. I need someone to fix that. It's
Yeah.
like
The
having-
internet, it just
Because it
you
says
have
you're
to
44.
Deal
I
with
know.
with what they give you.
Yeah.
If they say that you're this person, you're like, okay, I guess I have to be this person because the internet is always
and the internet says so.
quote unquote right.
But one thing I will not accept is adding fucking years on my life.
I
Like, don't
know.
do that shit. That's
4
not
years
cool.
too. It's not even like a year
Yeah,
off.
that's a
4
lot.
years.
So when are you going to decide about the babies?
So, I mean, there's a lot going on. I think if I do it, it has to be this year
Yeah.
because then I would be 42 technically.
Well, I'm
right?
43, and
Sure.
not too late.
But it's a lot. I
Right?
mean,
It's not too, she's like, guys, right? Back me up. It's not too late.
it's not too late.
Well,
It's definitely not too late.
It's
How old was
co-bred.
Amal Clooney when she had her twins? She was like in
She's
her
50, no?
right. She was like 45.
I know.
She was?
Yeah,
pretty
she
old.
was much older.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's hope for
Well,
you.
yeah, there's Jan Jackson and
And Naomi Campbell just had
She
right?
adopted though.
And well, yeah. Same
Yeah.
thing. I mean,
Jan Jackson, I think, carried actually at 54. And
that
then
is wild.
didn't J-Lo? No, she was like 40. No. Who? Halle Berry? Someone else was mid 40s or something.
Halle
like
Berry
45.
was older. She was in her later 40s.
Not later 40s.
Yeah,
She's
I
in her
think-
later 40s now.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. I mean, I
Girls-
would say we can look at Wiki, but it's maybe wrong.
It's definitely
Yeah,
wrong.
then again,
that is not
everything that
accurate.
the internet says is completely
Fake
wrong.
news.
But no, so what? This is an interesting thing, right? So you
Yes.
have 5 embryos.
I do.
So you want a girl.
I do.
You can use
How many
one
girls
or
again?
2.
I'm
I
sorry.
have 3 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
But let's say that you use one and then everything goes, as planned and it
Yeah.
works out great. You have 4 embryos left. Because this is a thing about when people freeze embryos, right? It's like a little controversial as far as what you do with. Do you just keep freezing them for the rest of your life? Do you get rid of them?
See, this is the thing. It's such a hard pill to swallow. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna donate them to science. So there's 3 options. You can donate
embryos.
them to science. You can just discard, or you can keep them on ice.
What do they do with them when you donate them to science?
So they will use them for research. So like they'll
Do they
take.
grow them to a?
They better not.
Right. No,
Well, like
I
a
mean,
lab
no,
baby.
these
no,
are
I
like-
think they keep it. The embryo will be at an age of like they're not gonna start like
Growing
they're not
the-
gonna put it in someone and then actually.
I'm
like,
sorry, but
have
I'm
the
like
baby.
concerned.
I
Like,
think
these
they're
are
using
real
it
life
for
questions.
No, yeah, I think they're using it for purposes of like
Genetic
chromosome
testing.
Genetic testing.
Yeah, things like that. They're
or
not,
like maybe I don't know. Maybe they. I don't know. What the hell?
I don't
They're
know.
so
What do they do?
small.
but they're not gonna put it in. They're not gonna put the embryo in someone and then like. Use
No, I
this
mean like
for-
grow a baby in a petri
Petri
dish.
No, I don't think.
dish.
Well, who knows what the government will
Like,
be doing?
what
They
this-
may.
This is
What's-
the thing. I would just probably discard that, right?
I would be so scared.
Yeah.
Because I know some people who are like with embryos that they don't want to even freeze embryos because they're like, what do you do with the
What do
ones
you
that
do
you
with
don't
them?
use?
And
Because
these
then
are the-
they don't want to discard them because it's an embryo at that point.
And this is the thought that goes through my head late at night, you guys. I'm like, okay, I have 5 potential humans on ice, right? If I discard them, what if I'm killing like the next like Madonna or like the next, like the president? Like, what if you're just getting rid of this like person that could be
you
the
could
next?
find surrogates for all of them and then end up having
And then
like,
you
a
could have just
clan.
Yeah.
A bunch of
7 kids.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's not going to happen.
I mean, that would be pretty
would
expensive
die.
to have 7 kids
Yeah, it
in
would
New
be,
York
like, in the
City.
ground. There's
Yeah.
no way.
But you
There's
do
no
want to use the one embryo.
I really do. It's a point of contention between Pavan and I because I think he's done.
Mhm.
Like having twins is such a financial because everything's
double.
Double.
Yeah.
so right now they're going to school. It's like double the tuition
Right.
and like
You're not
clothes.
able to use any like hand me downs. Like it's like you provide
No.
both of them
Yeah.
at the same time.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's a lot like when you travel. I feel like that's a thing. Like
Oh, girlfriend.
I
you
feel
should
bad
travel
Especially
with
when
us.
they're
traveling
young.
with 2 little kids like that.
It is mental. Like the whole thing is just like a circus. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, she came to my house and I was like, oh my God, I forgot what it's like to have toddlers.
Oh, gee, your poor dog. First
And
of all,
they-
I'm so sorry.
I don't even remember.
They
It's
like were grabbing the dog by the tail. Like,
they
yeah.
did not stay still. They were everywhere.
How old are your boys?
Now they're 2.5.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They were like a year and a half when they were
It's
at your
crazy
place.
how time has gone by so quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love that you are where you are in your career. Are you happy with where you are in your career? Like, what's next for you? Like, what do you think is going to be on your milestone?
So
Like, what's the next milestone for you?
all my focus is growing this. So I think, you were asking earlier, like, how do I balance being a publicist and being on the show? It's really tough for me. I think I had these big ideas to like grow my own agency and to continue like down that that path. But I think it's so awkward because like I'm a publicist working an event, but then I walk the red carpet. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, how do you do that?
You're just the talent now.
It's just the talent now. So I think I have to like really think about my PR career versus like really building this other like thing.
I
And
have to be
Oosh is
honest.
is
I
like
feel
a-
like you've really stepped into this role as talent now. And I don't think that you're going to do this PR
Yeah.
agency. I think
Yeah.
you're probably are going to represent yourself for as long as you possibly can. And then you're probably going to pour your heart out into this new venture
Yeah.
and end up getting a publicist.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it takes a village. you need help.
It takes a village, and I truly don't think I am able to do both. So I have to sacrifice one and really focus on the other. And it's a risk, right? Like I'm in startup mode right now. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I just know I have a good feeling about it. I know I'm doing something that's unique, that has like potential to be something. And so why not?
I'm excited for you.
Me too.
Yeah,
It's like
I can't.
a very.
I want to see what you are going to source from India. Can you bring back some ashwagandha?
Yes, hell yes.
I'm really into ashwagandha.
Yeah.
She's really into
Absolutely.
ashwagandha.
Like I've been taking ashwagandha for years.
I'm going to give you this mushroom tea that has ashwagandha. It's so good.
Oh
It's
yeah,
called
give it to
dirt
me.
tea. Yeah.
I love. What is it
Called
called?
what?
Dirty. It's mushroom.
Dirt tea.
Dirty.
Okay.
DIRT, like dirt.
DIRTEA. Dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Like
Oh.
tea. Dirt
Tea.
tea.
Is
Dirt
it Is it like
It's like a mushroom based tea.
like reishi? Is it reishi or rishi?
Rishi.
Is it
Reishi.
rishi's in there?
It's ashwagandha.
Rishi, lion's mane.
Yeah, lion's mane.
probably.
Yes. How do you?
Do you have dirty?
Well, when it comes to wellness, I am
Yeah.
your girl. I will tell
Okay.
you everything that has to deal with wellness, Ayurvedic medicine, like you name it, and I have tried
You
it
should
or I
come with
use
me.
it.
You should
I
come
would
with
love
me.
to go, but it's when are you going? April?
April.
Honey, I don't know if you're going to be
I
able to go in April, sweetie.
This is the
So,
other thing.
is there a season 2 of RHONY?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Have we been invited back?
I have no
I
idea.
know. I've heard no one knows.
No one
one
knows is what I've
knows.
heard. I've heard even the internet can't crack that.
The internet can't crack it. And by the way, like, I love how the cast is teasing shit. You guys went out for lunch. You were like, everyone's like, oh my God, they're filming again.
But I didn't
Oh, I
even
did
tease
see
anything. I just
that.
thought it was a funny video
It
because
was a funny video.
But the
It did look like a
video-
it did look like
no,
a tease,
the
though.
video
It did
was
kind of
meant
look like
to
a
be
tease.
like, I told Uba's secret. Like,
yeah.
don't tell me because I'm going to go tell everyone.
Yeah.
That was the premise behind it.
But then people are messaging me, DMing me, be like, oh my God, are you guys filming again?
I know. And then it was
Yeah.
like all of a sudden all over me. I feel like, guys, stop listening to the media.
I
Like the media
know.
will misconstrue everything and make it seem into something it's not. Like the premise was literally like, hey, do you remember I told someone's secret on a show?
But
I
I mean,
can't
you do
hold
have to,
water.
as a viewer, if you are putting something where all you guys are together, and it's not like you're ever together, it does seem like you're teasing
We're
something.
together a lot, actually.
We
All
do-
of you?
No,
No,
well,
not all of us,
not all
but
of
we
us.
did. And it was a lunch. We went to hang out and have lunch. It wasn't a big deal. I honestly don't care though. I really don't care what the media has
Yeah,
to
exactly.
say.
At
And
this point, we've learned
Yeah,
to
you
like
can't
kind of
care
just
about
scrap
everything.
it.
you
know?
gotta, you just gotta control your
Yeah.
own narrative and your own piece. Like,
Exactly.
look, I had a good time. It was a very funny video. Take whatever you want from the video
Right.
and like call it a day.
And that's the fun of it all,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like let's just like put a peanut out there and
And see where it goes.
See where it goes.
All right. So,
we have
RHONY
this-
filming is TBD.
We have this
TBD.
rapid fire that we want to do with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start. Birthday suit or lingerie?
You a-holes. I mean, I would go for lingerie, just not the one that Jenna Lyons gave me.
got it. Caviar on chips or on Bellini?
Oh, Bellini all the way.
Who is messier, Cy or Aaron?
Erin.
Tribeca or Upper East Side?
Oh my God. I mean, Tribeca's kind of cool because I made it cool, right? Like, are we going to say that?
Okay, and who on the show needs a fashion makeover?
Oh, you guys are digging. Listen, I would love to see Jenna not wear jeans. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Wait, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Do you snore?
Apparently I do, you guys, but I will deny until I'm blue in the face. Uba caught me snoring. It was like caught on camera.
So they had to share a room when we were in Anguilla, and she was snoring so loud. Uba recorded her, and she kept denying that she snores. She couldn't sleep, Uba, and she kept denying it. So at the breakfast table the next day, she played her
Oh, I didn't hear
snoring.
that.
She played
But
the
who knows?
recording.
Not only
Some
did she
people
play
don't know
it,
they snore because you're
she
sleeping.
put this shit in a glass to amplify it.
I'm sharing a room with my princess here. So she's like, oh, but I don't snore. I was like, oh, that's great. You're really going to do this right now? Last night, I wake up in the middle of the night and I hear, I'm like, what is that noise? Oh, no. Wait, did you record it? I did. Here, play it. Wait a second. I don't snore. Barely hear anything. I was dying laughing out here not to wake you up. I am a little congested. It could be that.
No, girl, you just snore. But why do you not want to admit that you snore? Why are you still holding out?
It was
I was
so
like,
funny.
oh my God, are you kidding me?
It
right
was
now?
so
Sometimes when
funny.
I'm really, really tired.
Well, the thing, yeah, exactly.
I mean, when you're really tired, I snore.
I don't know, you snore
I was
really
congested
loud.
too.
It was really funny. It was really funny. What is one thing that you think was harder than you thought?
Oh my God. On the show specifically,
Anything in life.
anything.
Just like everything that you're doing right now, because you have so much on your plate. Like, what is hard? Because this is our show is harder than we thought, right?
Yeah.
Like life is
Life.
harder than we thought.
I mean,
Life
that is
is
the
always
understatement of the
lifing.
century
Yeah.
right now. What is harder than I thought? I think I genuinely thought that I would just come in, everyone would like me, would get along like a house on fire. And this was so eye-opening, the whole experience, right? Like, and I know Sai feels the same way. It was almost like a sociology experiment where you're putting so many people from different walks of life. And this was me. Oh, we're gonna go and like do Sex in the City and go shopping, and everyone's gonna love each other, and it's gonna be kumbaya, like beautiful like friendships. And it was so tough because I think as you're unpacking all of this stuff, like it was so much harder than I thought it would be. And yeah, I mean, I think we persevered.
I think though, people need to remember we're shooting a reality show.
Yeah.
If we don't have
Yeah.
those moments, we're
What are
not
we
going to get
doing?
views.
Yeah.
Okay? If we don't have those little villain moments, tough moments, yelling at your friends, or having disagreements.
The math is not
The math is not mathing.
I'm sorry.
We're not going to get any views. People,
true.
at the end of the day, and I know this is sad to say, people don't really want to see you kumbaya all
No.
day, every
I know.
episode.
Well, see, I'd never seen Real Housewives, like, so I didn't know that it was conflict. That it
It's
was
funny
all
that
these
you
things.
said that because people always say that before they go on this show, like the new people, like, oh, what do you think? They're like, I never really watched it. And I always thought people were lying. I'm like, how do you not watch the show you're about to go on?
Yeah.
But Sai was the same way. She really, I mean, I think she saw
I watched Atlanta and Beverly Hills.
like years ago, but you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really watch it.
wasn't
So-
an avid watcher.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's like now that you said that, I believe you. Because if I didn't know her and she wasn't on the show, I would never have believed you.
I think there are
Because
some
people say that all the time. I'm like, yeah, right.
There are some people
But
that
yeah, people
study the
just really don't
formula,
know.
right? Like
Yeah.
there is a formula, right? That's kind of like you see it in all the franchises, and people really are like
Yeah.
very like invested. I feel like we just went in like we're new. We're gonna
Did we all go in like that?
TBD. I don't know.
TBD.
Yeah.
That's something that I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe some people should look at. I don't know if we all went in without studying. Some of us didn't study, and some of us did.
Yeah, I
shame.
think it's an interesting thing to put out there because I feel like you just think that you again can control the outcome of certain things and you cannot.
Yeah, it was a very difficult
Yeah.
thing to go through.
Yeah.
Especially like for me, I'm like, why do we care about that? Let's stop talking about it. And then
Yeah.
having to constantly talk about the same thing
Right.
over and over again for a storyline was like,
Yeah.
all right, come on.
I know.
But I've learned a lot through it at the same time.
1,000%. Like if anything I can take away, like, how to deal with certain situations, I think personal growth is like a big
Yeah.
thing. I mean, the most eye-opening thing,
Yeah.
And so hopefully we're better for it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on
Thank
everything.
you.
And good luck with the launch. Hopefully the stars all align tomorrow
Thank
for
you.
the launch of
I
Ushk.
like OUSHQ.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
oh,
Please. She
I'm
can't
bad
spell.
with, I'm
She
visual.
can't.
I'm visual.
I was like, I'm going to make it a 5-letter word so no one F's it up.
She's a very special. She's a very unique person.
SHQ.com. That's the platform.
Guys.
Thank you,
Yes,
Jessel.
thank you.
Much. Big kiss.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll
Bye.
catch you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Harder Than We Thought. You can catch us every Monday with episodes that will help you get through your week.
Please don't forget to subscribe and make sure you leave a review because we would love to hear from you. You can also follow us on social at Harder Than We Thought.